Welcome to the MainSplaining channel. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I think I got it right this time. Yeah, thank you. And I have a guest. Man, before I even introduce you, I just want to put this out there that, it's been a while since I had someone. It just feels good.
Wow, I feel honored.
Yeah, it feels
Feel
good. Dion, right?
Yeah,
I call
Dion.
you Dion.
Yeah.
Dion Khoza.
Yeah, cause.
Khoza.
uh-huh.
So tell us just a snippet of just who you are.
I'm a simple guy. With me, what you see is what you get. I'm humble, down to earth, loving. I would say also God fearing. Yeah.
Okay. That's how you describe yourself.
Yeah, that's how I describe
yourself.
myself. Short and simple.
Short and simple.
Yeah, as well as sweet, I think.
And you grew up in Salvokop also, né?
Yeah, I grew up in this community. Let me just say, oof, it was a blessing.
Yeah.
Just being around this community was a blessing.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because we had so much to do back then. We had activities, we had Bible club, we were always busy. We had things that kept us busy.
Yeah.
So yeah, unlike in this time and era. So back then I'd say it was a wonderful time. It was a wonderful time to be. Oof.
The interesting thing is like what I attended, you attended. It's like even the school I went to, you went to.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah. so in a way, but what made the difference was that I was just, I think, a year ahead or two. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Somewhere there. So that kind of separated us a bit. But all in all, the school I attended, you attended. Bible club, I attended. Danilali, I attended Danilali. It's like, yeah. So it's now if I'm thinking about it, I'm like, actually, we're not even best friends. Why? We should be, because, as I said, where I attended, you attended. What went wrong? What went wrong? Because I can't blame me. I just want to find out from your side.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe our interests.
Probably.
Yeah, probably our interests. What you were interested in, I wasn't interested in. So yeah.
I think that one.
I'd say our interests.
Probably the older you get, then our interests start aligning in a sense.
Yeah, that's true.
The older, then suddenly now we start being friends and then so forth. And it's interesting. It is actually.
But funny how we do have communicate and we do chat here and there.
Yeah.
Whenever I see you on the road, I stop you and we just share wisdom. Like I call it impartation of wisdom between you and me.
Yeah. I want this here. I want it here.
Let me just say, the information that you give is actually changing. Like when I would stop you by the road and we talk, let me just say some of the things that you say are actually true. And we actually grow by that. Sometimes you grow by being humble and listening to others, what they have to say. Never ever think that you know much.
Yeah.
So,
because it's vice versa for me. It's like, that's why I've been wanting to get you, on the podcast, just so you can share your wisdom, your knowledge and stuff.
Oof.
Yeah, serious, because you share also a lot of, knowledge and wisdom. It's like, that's why it's a 50-50 thing. Give, take, give, take, give, take, give, take. And so, yeah.
Hence I call it impartation of wisdom. So, yeah.
And I remember now you touched on, there were activities in Salvo Copy. So are you saying they're no longer there?
They're there, but, excuse me, they're not strong as they used to be. Like we, the youth, try to build that. Where I'll give you an example with a lady called Lali Fori. Now she put her heart into this community. Let me just say, she always gave it her all for this community. You might say she's the godmother of Salvador, because the way she was doing it, she knew all our names, no matter how many we were. She knew us by name. Now, isn't that funny?
It is.
And we're a lot.
Now that you think about it. Now that you think about it.
So, so we try to bring that back, hence with the drama as well. Yeah, I would say we do try here and there. So yeah.
So what I wanna add also to that is that I'm thinking. I know it's gonna sound like a U-turn, but it's like the you look at people from Penn,
Uh-huh.
uh, Danilali, and
Mm-hmm.
those people, right? Do you think we failed them?
Mm. I would
And any you
say,
choose, why? Why is it?
fail is a big word.
No, it's really
Failure.
think about it.
Okay,
Think about
okay,
it, and I'll tell you why I used it in case
okay.
since you said it.
Uh, I do get you. I do get what you're saying. Is
Yeah.
that when they stopped, we were supposed to continue.
Mm,
But hence we're also busy. But hence I also see that we try to make an effort where we can.
mm,
Hence also on your side, I saw there was this one time where you moved me where you were teaching this other kid. You made sure that you had time to
mm,
just go there and just sit with the child, help the child. I don't know whether it was maths or English, that you took your time.
it was mostly maths.
See, you took your time to do that. No one, I'm not sure if they asked, but here you were always, I always saw you there. So I was like, okay, this is inspiring. And hence, there was also your brother who was always doing something with the kids while they were playing soccer wise, right?
Yeah, soccer.
Yeah, that's something. And there was also this, how can I put this? We also try to do our part on the drama side, keeping them busy with the community, with the youth of Salvador,
Yeah.
if I may say.
Because I'm saying, as I said, failure is because, the age that we're in, right? It's like the positive things that they taught us, it's like we kept it for ourselves, so to speak. Like, and then
Yeah.
when we
Okay.
looked at these kids, it's as if, somehow we were better. We became our parents, we
Ish.
judged them like, ah, look at these kids, instead of doing
Yeah,
something.
guiding them
Yeah,
as well.
guiding. So that's why I say, when I say fail, like that, because we have, I can't emphasize more on fail. And I hear you when you said that we are busy, but you speak as though those people didn't have other lives.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like, that's why I'm saying fail.
Okay,
They had
okay.
other lives. I mean, then I looking at Penn.
Mm,
Some of those people volunteered. They were working. Well, they worked elsewhere, but they volunteered. They made time.
mhm.
They came just to teach us, just to make sure we know the Lord.
That's
So
true.
that's what I'm saying. It's always excuses, and I find that what's this word I'm looking for? It's too much around us in this community. Excuses,
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
busy.
Mm.
I'm busy. I'm busy,
Yeah.
even though you can make time. So that's why I say we failed them,
Uh,
in that sense, because we are
hence.
always dependent. Like, if you were to look at Daniel Ali, right? Uh, she didn't have many people to assist. It was like her structure was different from the pen structure,
Mm.
right? Organization, from the pen was larger. But if you look at Daniel Ali, she mostly did it. It wasn't that many. I think it was just her and her sister and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't that many, and yet she still managed to do it. And obviously, yes, she had financial advantage, but still, she managed to do it. Touching on the part again where you saying what you are saying is that you still try to do the Bible club.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do was go there. You ask, listen, we want to do this for the kids, and we please have this venue so that every so and so day this time at least these kids can learn drama and stuff. But the point is that you made an effort. You didn't make excuses as though you're always waiting for someone to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thing is, someone had already started it.
Yeah.
So when they asked me to join, I said, you know what? Let me just go there. Let me also give back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm actually giving back my time.
Yeah.
That's something that they did. They gave their time. They could have been elsewhere, but they chose to be with us. Hence, also on your side with the kid, as I mentioned, and also your brother, as I mentioned. Here's the thing. you don't have to change the world, but with the whole community, with
Yeah.
one kid, it makes a difference. It actually makes a huge difference what you're doing to him. So there's this other movie that I once watched called Pay It Forward, where you do something for this person and this person pays it forward. He does not return the favor back to you. He actually helps another person.
I don't know that movie.
Oh, it's called The Paid Forward. It's a good movie.
Is it? I need to check it
It's
out.
about a kid who actually starts. It was about a project in class. So where the kid said, he formed a chain. He threw it on the board. He said, instead of me doing something for this guy and this guy actually helping me in return, how about he pays it forward? So the kid starts off by helping a junkie. So this junkie actually he tries to rehabilitate him. And then after that, let me just say, long story short, the kid kind of gave up. So not knowing the junkie was on his way south to somewhere, moving from one location to another. As he was going there, he saw this other lady about to jump off a bridge. He said, "No, lady, please don't jump."
Don't spoil it too much for me.
Okay. Okay. So like he got the lady off the bridge. So he paid it forward. So what you did for the kid, he might do it to someone else. So as I said, you made a huge difference. That's a huge impact on your side as well.
Because the interesting thing for me is that, and I think we had this conversation before, I didn't know that you were paying attention.
Ooh.
I didn't. Now I was just going there because a child needed assistance on one tool.
You know,
that's it.
There's this other thing where they say, even though if no one is watching you, work as if somebody's watching you. Somebody is paying attention to you, and what you're doing, you're inspiring others as well. So that's something. You didn't do it for people to see you. That's the thing that I loved. Hence, you're also saying it right now. You didn't know. So yeah.
Yeah, because it's motivating actually too. Because now it makes me think, because I still would have continued with the kid. I wish I did, but circumstances. But I really, because you know how it goes. You start with that kid, and all of a sudden, it's 3, it's 4, and then suddenly, you have this thing. Now you're really teaching this kid. Because it always starts with 1. I never did push it to that extent where, I could really make a difference in that light, teaching kids
but
maths.
You don't know if you did make a difference. Maybe you did. Maybe you
maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. You know what? Lord knows.
Yeah, a little goes a long way.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can never be wrong. Like, hey.
So what do you think happened, man, to these organizations?
Oof. I'm actually not sure. To be honest, let me just say maybe fundings.
Yeah.
Maybe lack of funding. But at least actually, let me just say, I'm happy to be part of one organization.
Yeah.
Where I work. A lady once recruited me saying, let's go to these schools for a Bible club. Like just to teach the kids about the Bible, about Jesus. And funny enough, most of them are paying attention. Like there was this one kid that stood up and recited a Bible. Like as young as he was, he stood up and recited the Bible, a Bible verse. So yeah, let me just say that was amazing for me. So yeah, what can we say? The good thing.
Yeah, proceed. Just
the good thing about being part of an organization like that is that it also teaches you about life. To be honest, I went there thinking that I was actually going for just to do computer and office admin. Next thing you know, I get there, you think you know life. You hear other people telling their stories about how they were abused, how they were molested while growing up. How, like, let me just say, people are emotionally damaged, if I may say.
Out there.
Like, yeah, they actually emotionally damaged, they emotionally broken. So when I got there, I nodded my head and I was like, I really don't have problems. I don't know what I'm
What you
for.
complaining for?
Yeah. And let me just say, look at God. Like, in most cases we forget to be thankful.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the biggest things. At least I would say I try to give back where I can. So it's not about giving back to 1,000 kids at the same time. Just one kid makes a difference. No. So yeah, he might actually pay it else to somewhere. Like, thing is, when we do something for other people, is that we expect something in return. We don't do it free-heartedly. We always say, we always look for what we're going to get in return in most cases.
Even though we are saying we are helping someone.
Even though we're saying we're helping someone.
But we want something out of that someone.
See, maybe a person does something little to you. The next thing you're going to say is, remember how I helped you.
Yeah.
Do you see where it
that's
comes
the worst
in?
kind.
Yeah, that's where it comes in. Like, I once helped you.
And that's also where people are just, keep their problems to themselves. They don't want that, always always asking, because they're scared of that. This person, you'll turn this into a song. Remember, I helped you. Remember.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's
so
true.
That's where
While
people don't want to share their problems in most cases because of that.
Yeah, and that's actually a downside. That's actually a huge downside, because that's where anxiety starts kicking in. That's where depression starts kicking in. Next thing you know, you're committing suicide. You're hanging yourself over things that you could, when you speak, there's actually healing. But thing is, who do you speak to? Who do you actually ask to help? Who do you ask help from? So yeah.
In your situation, let's say you're going through it and then you really feel like taking your life. Like, who would you go to as Dion?
Usually I pray about my problems. I tell God about my problems. But sometimes we tend to look for the right people to talk to. I would actually prefer going to the park, sitting with a stranger and talking to that stranger. In most cases, you see the person for the first time and you see them for the last time. And the other resort is my sister. Like, she's always willing to listen.
Yeah.
I would say she's God sent.
Okay.
I'd say I'm glad to have her as a sister, because every time after a long day when I'm sitting at home just talking to her, she listens, she listens, she advises me, she guides me, and yeah.
So that's the first one you'd go to me, as a bit like your sister.
Yeah,
just be like, what, listen.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, snap. While we were on that, there was this other guy, as I was saying, right? For the organization I'm part of. So there's this other young lad. I was in the same class as him. So it so happens that he was going through something, but he never shared.
Okay.
He never spoke about his problems. He never said, you know what, guys, I'm going through this. So guy actually committed suicide. He threw himself in front of the train tracks. Next thing you know, that's the end of his life. But let me just say, talking is healing. That alone taught me that the more you talk, the more you receive healing. The more you ask, the more it is given. It's always like that. But thing is, we are afraid of asking for help because what people might say, as you indicated. Like, people will always have something to talk about, but is it not good for you to offload than worry about what people will say? So, yeah.
Because now that person is dead, and then the question always comes, why?
Why?
Why didn't he say this? Why didn't he try? And I think something I've noticed is that people do cry for help around us, but we don't help them. But somehow when something happens, that's when we really take it seriously. And then we're like, I really, if I knew it was this serious, I would have helped.
Yeah. I get
Something
you.
I've noticed is that, yeah, because you can still go, even like a friend, you know, I'm struggling with this. Yeah, man, you know, I wish I could help, man. The problem is my hands are still tied. Then you also start sharing their problems. And, you know, just that defense mechanism. Listen, dog, I also have problems. One, two, understand. And then once that person does something, and then now that guilt comes, you know, because you know you could have done something, right?
Could have.
And you think of, you know, this person trusted me enough that he believed that I could actually help him.
True.
You know, it's that's why it feels so. That's why you have to feel so guilty, because it's like, guys, this person really and I didn't help. Yeah.
You gave it your all.
Yeah, but
you did try.
Yeah.
But in most cases, the reason why we have that defense mechanism is because I really don't have the answer for that.
Yeah.
I really
All you
don't.
know is we do it.
We do it.
All
we
you
do
know is
it.
we do it.
But to be honest, the other reason why we are afraid of crying, it's. Are you ready for this one? Can I tell it to you?
I'm all ears.
Okay. It's an African proverb that tells us that says "Indoda ayikhali." That's one of the biggest killers of a nation, especially the young generation. At the young age, you're told that a man shouldn't cry, a man shouldn't share his problems. You keep it inside. Yeah, you soldier up. And that's what kills us at the end of the day, eventually.
Yeah.
So what do we know?
We can't handle that.
Exactly. And also another thing is when parents actually compare you with other kids. Am I making sense? So and so is doing great with his life. What are you doing? Do you see that? Do you see that? It's also one of the biggest killers of a nation. So yeah, but we try. Let me just say, we try to bottle that all up inside, and eventually it becomes this huge ball that you cannot contain anymore, that it explodes, and then you start saying, you know what, nobody really cares about me. Nobody's really watching. So what's the point of me living? What am I living for if nobody cares? You see, that's where depression starts kicking in. So yeah.
So with this this generation compared to the older generation, what do you think, like, this generation is just weaker, or is it misunderstood?
I'd say misunderstood.
And why is that?
Reason being is that we don't actually give them the chance or the day. I don't know if I said it properly. We don't give them the chance or the day. It's because you'll see two kids, right, trying to light a cigarette. You'll not even say, hey, why are you doing that? Stop doing that. That's wrong for you. You'll just pass. You'll say, it's not my problem. You'll say, it's not my problem. You'll see two kids smooching up a storm. And what are you going to say? Hey, kids of nowadays, no respect. Instead of you guiding them as the elder. I remember when we were young and we never even thought about smooching. We never even thought of smoking. Hey, let me just say, if you even did that, let me just say, they would whip you. Like, your parents would beat you. Like, yeah.
And you knew and I saw you somewhere. You went and he snitched. Snitched somewhere. You know. It was a different one. Everyone was your parent. You knew.
Well said. Yeah.
So are you saying, in a sense, that you're saying, yes, they're misunderstood, but the truth is, this very generation actually is the failure. Because
this generation of parents.
Yeah, this generation of parents is the failures.
No,
the failures or whatever. Is English really
okay.
Why I'm saying that? Because listen to what you are saying. Listen to what you are saying.
No, I do.
Listen to what you're saying.
No, I wouldn't say
everyone was your
parent.
Your parent.
It's just
if that person saw you, you knew it's going down. But
I would say, okay.
You see why I said he needs a mic? You know what I said? I said he needs a mic. I said he needs a mic. Just because it's like, you know what? I know it's not my day, but you know what? It is my
Your
day.
day.
Let me say something. Let me say something.
Oh yeah. Oh.
So society, meaning that everyone, just
No, I
doesn't matter
wouldn't
which
say.
generation.
I wouldn't say we failures. We do try, but hence we tend to mind our business a lot.
Yeah.
If I may put it like that.
So in other words, the correct word is selfish.
Oof, that's also a big word.
It is selfish. What do you mean you mind your own business? What is your business?
No, if I see a kid smoking, most parents or most people would say
Yeah.
that's none of my business. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
You'd get like, how can I put this? There was this one pub that I went to in town. Where you'd get like these older people there, and then they're asking young kids out. Do I put it in a correct sense?
Yeah.
They're asking young kids out to go out with them, just to have a one night stand with them. You'd get me as an adult. I'm buying the young kid alcohol. What message does that send?
But isn't that also common? Isn't it always happened?
It has. But
Always.
Okay, look at it now. Do you think if I bought a kid a bottle of alcohol, that kid would actually respect me as an adult?
It depends for that child what is respect. If you were to buy that kid alcohol and then you became sort of a father figure, that child would respect you.
Okay.
In that sense.
Okay. I don't think I put it in a good way. Ne?
Yeah.
Let me rephrase.
Yes.
my
Okay. Let
question.
me add.
Okay.
Let me add.
Okay.
For me, the problem is not just what is this? Us saying it's not our business. The problem is that kids don't have proper households. And what do I mean? They don't have a father in there and a mother.
Broken homes.
It's broken homes. Because it might not be your business, but let's say it's my child, right? And then because you know me and I'm around my child, you'd always be concerned about my child. Why is this child doing this? Hey! Stop 1 2 1 2 1 2, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm a community, I'm right then. If I see your child, hey, what is Dion's child? Hey, this boy or girl, and then because now that child knows, Dion knows my father, vice versa. So that creates that fear. Depending anyway how I also what is this build my family, in what principles is my family right built in.
Okay.
But then that's what I'm saying is that there's broken homes for me, other than just looking at society in that sense where it's none of my business. Of course, it's not your business. Why would it be? I mean, you have a child that you ran away from also, so why would you care about that one? It's a
slap.
harsh but
Okay,
true,
okay.
And the other one,
Yeah, it does make sense.
yeah. So especially for men, I mean, South Africa, to be honest, has a problem. It lacks strong men. We really don't have strong men anymore. That's why, like, I'll make an example, and this is not to slap on the woman, but a woman protects differently from a man.
Yeah, that's
Totally
true.
differently. A woman protects the child emotionally. Doesn't matter the child is right, is wrong. If the child cries, she just wants to protect that child emotionally. She just doesn't like the child that the child is crying. A man protects the child with principles and values.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So if the child did something outside, the mother she never asks the correct questions. Okay, what happened? No, who dare touch my child? Why dare you touch my child? A man is like, what happened? You want to know what happened because you're trying to prevent it from happening again. Right? What happened? What did you do? Right? It suddenly even turns on the child when now the child understands that, okay, I cannot just tiptoe around it and just, send these bodyguards. These are not bodyguards. So that's what broken families, they don't provide that. Right? True. They don't provide. And it's worse if you're especially at our age, all you think about is drinking and alcohol. I mean, you won't have time to raise that child. You always think about going out, Yeah. Blessings are, blessings come with responsibility. And the problem is we can't handle responsibility. So even a blessing is like a curse. So if a child, but then now because you have to be responsible for that child, it feels like a curse. So you're trying to run away from that problem.
Yeah, that's always the case. It's just that we have young kids trying to be parents nowadays. Young kids turn into parents. Am I putting it good?
Yeah, I understand what you're
So
saying.
I like what you also said. A man has principles. He has values. There was this story I once read about this guy who was on death row. So he wrote a note to his mother. He said, "Mother, do you remember the time that I stole from my father's wallet?" And then, oh no, his father's friend's wallet. And then instead of telling me to return the money, you told me that let's hide it and then we'll go spend it afterwards. Do you remember the time where I stole my friend's bicycle and then you helped me to hide it? And then the list goes on and on. He said, "Mother, do you remember the time Dad was trying to give me a hiding, but you protected me? Not knowing that Dad loved me at that time. But now I am actually sentenced to death because of you. All my actions started cause of you." Do you see how it is? So yeah,
it adds to that. It's like,
it does
yeah.
add.
And again, anyway, even in today, we misunderstand love. That's the problem. It's like, love can be, don't do that. Right? And when we think love is, okay, once. Right? Other than, don't do that. Because love does that. Love is, don't do that. You know why most people, especially in today, I mean, there are other factors that I could add into it, but why people find it hard to believe in God and don't want to accept God is because of broken homes. And why is that? Because remember, God calls himself the Father. He could have called himself the Mother, but he calls himself the Father. Because there are certain characteristics that God has that a father is supposed to resemble in the household. So imagine now, you never had a father, your father was 1, 2, and then you come to realize, oh, there's a God who loves me, but then he still calls himself Father. Psychologically, what do you think that will do to you? A father, come on, man, fathers are useless. Fathers don't take care of their kids. I mean, fathers, even if you are spoiled, that's why even spoiling is so dangerous. Like you're looking at a father that just also spoils their child, never chastise their child. So when you get to come to God and then realize this is how God deals with these people, he will always look harsh and unreasonable because the father you had didn't resemble God. You understand? So by the time you get to that point where you're introducing him to God, or maybe you already knew, but then he obviously is going deeper into it, he finds it hard, to wrap it around that his head or so, because growing up, he didn't have that. That's why when God says, when he says, he says the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom.
Okay.
But then in today's time, it's like, no, you're not supposed to fear your father. Can you see it's like the difference from east to west? And what is fear? We mostly, especially Africans, we understand it. That's why most of us are still, we find Christianity very easy because we understand. Oh, I understand what they mean, fear father. In most Westerns, they don't get it anymore. Even so, they don't get it anymore. They think fear is,
No,
is the worst thing that can happen.
Can I just say, on your side, it's easy for you because you grew up with that foundation of Christ.
Yeah.
It says, raise up a child in the way that even when he's grown, he will not part from it. So even when you've grown up, even though you stray from the path, even no matter the challenges that you face, you know that, you know what, there's a God that loves me. You go back. no matter the amount of wrongs that you do, you know that you'll go back to him because he will accept you. But nowadays with this generation, there's no that foundation.
Yeah,
The
it isn't.
foundation isn't there. So for you to actually start with them while they're older, you're actually going to have to put in a lot of work.
A lot
But
of work,
remember
man.
that work is not from you. It's not you that has to put it in, it's God. So let me just say, sometimes when we venture into Bible studies, we need to pray and say, God, help this person. Help me reach the the person that's supposed to hear this message. I like what preachers usually do when they climb on the stage. They say, you know what, this message is not for everybody. It's just for one or two people. Do you see how it is? So, as I said in the beginning, if you can touch one soul, then you've made a huge difference. So, yeah, let me just say, let's bring back the Bible.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back. Nowadays you'll get a family sitting in the dining room. They don't even communicate.
Yeah.
They're all busy on their cell phones.
They don't even pray.
They don't
You know,
even
just
pray.
Whoever decides to eat will just eat.
Yeah,
You know, it's,
they don't communicate.
Yeah,
So let me just say, let's bring back the Bible. Sometimes I know some people will look down on you. Have you ever been in a case where you try preaching Jesus and people be like, you think you know too much? Do you see how it is? In other words,
and mostly it's not necessarily even their fault. It's the way Christ has been portrayed, particularly his followers. They always people like to use the word judgmental.
Yeah.
Once you get deeper into the conversation, okay, what is that? They find it hard because they just used to quoting.
Yeah.
No, you Christians are 1-2. You Christians are 1-2.
Yeah,
you Christians are
true
1-2.
that.
You Christians are 1-2.
But remember, we fight not against flesh and
Yeah.
blood, but principalities of darkness. So, no matter, even though a person may judge you, remember that it's not him. It's not him. Try to understand.
The one last thing is that that's why God says, we don't have an excuse. We know that he exists. We know that he's there.
Yeah,
We
true.
don't have an excuse. And I agree. Because if you're looking at it, when it comes to Christianity, it's always, that label, judgmental. We are, even if you don't even say anything, someone will just say it. It's just judgmental, you guys.
It's always like that. It's always like
But
that.
then the interesting thing is that once you label someone with something, you can behave that same way you've labeled that person. And then you're getting away with it. Why? Because you've already labeled it to someone else. So in other words, you think it does not apply to you. It's the same thing with racism with black people. They assume because we say white people are racist, they can't be racist. If I'm making sense.
Yeah,
So
you
even
are.
with Christianity, it has that title to it where Christians are just judgmental. So people assume they can't be judgmental because somehow people that are judgmental, that title belongs to the Christians, not us. We can talk about them, we can look down on them, think they're stupid to believe such a thing, and that is also. But we are not judgmental. They are, and so that's why it's easier for them to say that because already they've labeled that on us. Yeah.
That's true. But remember that sometimes you need to you need to be patient with people.
Yeah.
They come from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's tough. Yes, you will be judged. Yes, people will throw stones at you, and definitely yes, people will look down on you. But remember, above all of that, you have something you can do. There's a choice. You can either choose to react.
Yeah.
Or you can choose to say, you know what, it's okay. It's okay. Try and be patient with some people. Sometimes my sister likes saying that you can tell the person that it's best to tell the person the truth, even though they're going to resent you for it. Because at the end of the day, even though they were like arguing with you, they had strong points against you, but when they're sitting down, they're going to reflect. Subconscious.
And that's the thing I love about you, man. Is that, you know what?
Yeah.
Once you're alone, it comes back. It just all comes back.
Yeah, you begin to say, wow, that person was actually being right about this. I was actually
Just being hard-headed,
yeah,
whatever it may be. Yeah, whatever.
You actually say, you
But
know.
yeah, you are right. Now what you have to do, as you said, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. When I just plant that seed, don't worry, the Lord will grow it. When I don't worry, and I think sometimes we have that problem. It's like we just want to converse someone. We want to see. Like sometimes, maybe it's not for you to see. It's not for you. When I just do what you have to do, say what you have to say. And it's something I've also learned. That's why for me, I don't hide my faith. I even share it at some point because I get it. No, I don't have that power to change someone's heart. I'm just saying what needs to be said at that particular time. Somewhere, even if it takes 10 years, it will come back. Because at the end, it's just a build-up of things. Because at the end of the day, we usually hear the same thing. It's just God is just trying to shove it in until it makes sense. But it's the same thing over and over. Repent, repent, repent. Repent. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter in what form it comes in, So that's why, just say what you need to say, and then Man, all in all, it was a good one. We'll finish up.
Quick story, right? I was working with this other guy going to work by the name of Adivao.
Okay, yeah. I'm all ears.
We were just working. So as we were working, two boys were smoking.
Yeah.
And he stopped and looked at those boys and he was like, why?
Adivao did that.
Yeah, Adivao did that. He was like...
Was he asking those kids?
He was asking those kids. He was like, why?
Okay.
Why are you doing that? Do you know what's the funniest thing?
Yeah.
They never give you a reason or they never give you an answer.
Yeah.
It's always blank. It's always blank. They'll try to come up with a story of maybe I'm thinking too much, this helps me to relax. So the funniest thing is that even though they were smoking, they managed to hide that. They threw that away. This other guy, Prince, just came, took it from them. And the funniest thing is the one guy returned. Like when I was going to buy food at this place, I saw the one boy. He said, no, you know what? I've been clean. I haven't touched it since.
The same one?
There were two, but I saw one and he said, you know what, I haven't touched this thing since. I don't know whether he was talking the truth or not, but it's not for me to judge. All I can say is praise the Lord. You know how it is. So
That's a nice way to close it, actually.
So let me just say, as long as you give your time to something, then and ask God to guide you to change the world, then definitely nothing is impossible for him.
Amen, brother. Amen.
So
no, it was really good having you, man.
Thanks, man.
We'll pick it up some other time.
Hey, it's good being here.
I told you that you have to become also. You have to be a regular also, but don't worry, we'll get to that. You see this setting, you have to get comfortable. You will.
Let me just say, I was nervous throughout the interview. I tried though.
You don't even take it as an interview. Take it as it's just me, you chilling. We're having a conversation. That's all it is. It's just a conversation.
True that. So and let me just say, as people, how often do we say, this is my year, this is my year, only for the year to end the same way it started. So how often do we do that?
Too many times to count.
Too many times. So here's the thing. Let's just say, in all we do, let us try including God. We're going into 2023, right? And we're still alive, right?
Amen.
So in all we do, let us include God. Let us set goals for ourselves and try to reach those goals, no matter how small they are. And believe God that something good is always going to happen. So keep your faith up. You know, come unto me, all ye who are heavily burdened, and I will give you rest. That's what the Lord says.
It is true.
So let him be your comforter.
No, man, really, honestly, it was a good one. We'll pick it up some other time. But
thanks, Amele. I really appreciate it. So, it's good being here.